Okay, chat. It is time. So, there is a YouTuber that I like to watch, and I have never watched it on stream with you guys. Do you know who Royalty is here? Do you guys ever watch them? They have a new video out talking about YouTube and like how YouTube has changed.
So I love YouTube.
Let's go and watch it. Let's go.
I've been on it for over half my life now, ever since I needed a tutorial on how to get past the sand mission in Batman Arkham City, and ever since have not looked back.
I still need to play the Batman games. I haven't played one in a long time.
A lot of us like to edge our own stomachs.
I'm about to blow.
Because we have to find the perfect YouTube video. If we don't, the whole meal is ruined. But YouTube has rightfully withstood the test of time. It's never really had any major competitors, except for maybe in the streaming category, because compared to Twitch, using the chat feature on YouTube and just trying to find people that stream on YouTube is like grating your own testicles. But everything else on YouTube is pure gold. If you need a tutorial video on a very obscure topic, there's probably one video on YouTube that answers the exact question.
Why would you look that up, bro?
From someone originating from New Delhi. But YouTube is seemingly here for the very far future. But the perfect, in quotations, platform of YouTube doesn't come without its problems. And it is something that plagues all YouTube creators, and has been for years now. And when you hear the problem, you're probably going to respond with, "Water is wet."
Huh?
Or just as much surprise as when you found out if most fairies on the Earth actually did disappear, most of the world's military would be depleted. True fact, by the way, most of them are closeted.
Bro, military and IT. Furries are in the military and IT. We would lose literally half our military and we would just all like have no technology. Like furries are literally in so many places people don't understand. Water is wet, the sun is hot, cry is a bottom. I am a bottom! The sun is absolutely hot. Water is wet, and the glass is half empty. That's all I'm saying.
But this problem is something of a cardinal sin, and many who have performed said sin have had their reputations seemingly tarnished, and that problem is copyright abuse. Copyright abuse is one of the problems of YouTube, which every creator on the platform has been grueling about.
Just ask Nintendo about that so-called copyright abuse.
Very finicky and broken copyright system.
I'm sure they'd have plenty to not say and a lot to copyright.
YouTube videos revenue. Because they dared to use a single note on more than 3 seconds of their property. It doesn't matter if it's a charity event or an hour-long video, where for only a minuscule amount of time that song played, they will be taking that revenue. Even if you went through legitimate sources to get the rights to use that music and monetize the video, those efforts will be fruitless, because they will still bend you over and enter your anal cavity, because they will still be taking that money. And they will still copyright claim that video.
I hate when that happens, especially if you go through all sorts of trouble to get, like, copyright privileges and fair use and usage of it. Especially when they copyright it and you use, like, less than 20 seconds of, like, a music clip. And they're just like, no, you can't use this, copyright. But then that's under fair use. It happens so much, and it's really stupid, and I hate it.
And the copyright system has also been used for censorship. Because maybe you don't say something nice about another content creator, or you expose them for something, and maybe you used a small amount of their video to critique them, they will just take down the entire video and leave a strike on your channel. Which, if it gets out you actually did that, is like poking a hornet's nest.
You picked the wrong house, fool!
Because you have just installed a ticking time bomb on your reputation and your online career in general. The more notable situations like between WestJet and Shazam, where WestJet got his video removed because he was critiquing Shazam, and due to that, to this day, Shazam is called the cockroach of Valorant.
If you have an actual legit reason to get critiqued, it really is a bad omen to, like, copyright people down. I feel like people make mistakes, unless it's pushed really hard, it can be kind of bad though at the same time. Or like the fair use thing with like 30 seconds or whatever, with a clip of some sort.
Or maybe the Alinity and PewDiePie situation where she threatened to copyright strike him just for critiquing her.
I'm gonna copy strike this guy. Just for that word. Gonna copy strike him. Yo! Can we copy strike PewDiePie's latest video?
And she evidently was turned into a meme because of that.
Yeah, that is stupid too. The fact someone could just say, oh, I don't like that word, and I'm gonna copyright the shit out of you because of that word you said. And they can just do it. It is really stupid. If you make enemies on YouTube, it is very, very rough.
People brought up the fact she threw her cat like a Pokeball, and even more recently, the situation with Jake Doolittle, who once again was someone that was striking people because they were talking about him. But the only people that have had their reputation survive after blatantly abusing the copyright system are people like iShowSpeed and The Manny Show, primarily due to the reason they weren't the ones that actually filed the copyright takedowns. It was third-party companies managing their brand, which basically exonerated them. But abuse of the copyright system is more common than you think, because quite recently I got hit by it as well. For 2 3-second clips of a whole 19-minute video, which was within fair use, but the video was taken down and a copyright strike was applied to my channel.
Legit, if it's within fair use, within like the, what do you say, 3 seconds showing the clip, there shouldn't be a copyright strike on Royalty's account. They just strike now and forget it or relieve them later. It's kind of stupid. Remove request based on the application copyright law. We removed your video from YouTube. That's so stupid.
Been a victim of copyright abuse for seemingly no reason. I morphed into a goblin that had just lost all of the gold under its bridge, and due to pure frustration had this reaction. That was the 2-second clip. But here on YouTube there are 2 types of copyright, which we just mentioned, which is a copyright claim and a copyright takedown. A copyright claim is mostly automatic on the platform, where people or businesses...
Was it too loud, Al?
...businesses have identified you've used a millisecond of their audio and just siphon all the profits. Or if they really don't like you, they will block your video worldwide, which is just a kind of version of the copyright takedown request, I guess. But sometimes if they really need your revenue, they won't provide that timestamp. So your only option left is to counterclaim it, which most of the time they will deny it, tell you to go f*** yourself, and still claim your video. Because YouTube doesn't really get involved with these situations, especially when it comes to copyright, because they are more like the third-party cook that waits in a bush until both parties are done skull-fucking each other so they can get all the loot, which is something creators have been criticizing for a while now.
Appreciate you bringing this to both strikes been resolved. Videos reinstated upon review. This takedown notices were abusive. We have 0 tolerance for submission of fraudulent legal requests. So we also terminated the channels that submitted these. I mean, at least they terminated the channel, but that's not going to keep them from just making another account.
Steals Cry's tail?
And doing it again. Like, if they really, really were dedicated, they would do that.
But with the first strike, you have to sit and watch something that is equivalent to bamboo torture, which is the YouTube copyright school. And then you have to take a quiz, and if you fail it, you have to watch the video again. And the only way to remove a copyright strike is either contacting the person to remove it, which never works. They filled out a legal document for a reason. And the other option is to counter it, where you fill in all your legal information, or your lawyers or solicitors, and they have to take you to court within 10 days or that video is going to be restored. But YouTube has something to protect creators, especially in this predicament, but it is so confusing how it is applied on the YouTube platform that even the YouTube team I spoke to, asking about said thing, couldn't help me that much.
Yo!
Fair
Can we
use.
copy strike PewDiePie's latest video? Like, right now?
Now, copyright laws are usually supposed to
So
protect
what we
all
watching?
content, at least on the YouTube platform, from being copy and pasted with little to no content
We're
change.
watching
So basically,
Royalty is here. YouTube has a huge problem.
particularly like a re-upload of a video, which is copying, hence copyright. But there is something on the YouTube platform and law in general that without it, most of your commentary channels would have disappeared by now. All reaction channels would cease to exist as well. Yes, I see you VTubers that love to react to my videos for some reason. I see you in the corner of the screen, you little loser. If somebody isn't reacting to this, I love...
Wow! Freaking called out, bro.
But the fair use law applies to content that is transformative in nature. Either you are adding to that video or adding things like commentary, which I was, and it allows you to use a person's video without even asking for permission, at the trade-off of people can do the same thing to you. Just as long as you're not re-uploading the entire Sonic 3 movie like I saw on Twitter, you're not damaging the original video to the point where people wouldn't want to visit that person's channel or video because they've watched your video, and the content is actually transformative, and sometimes they look at how much of the clip you actually used. You are within fair use and you can't get copyright striked or claimed for it. Supposedly, because even if the video is within fair use, they can still take it down, especially if on the YouTube platform it appears in their copyright section because of the YouTube Content ID system picking up that your video was used, because it does not identify fair use, and people that don't know about fair use and think they're being stolen from can press one button and fill out all their information and get that video possibly taken down. And every time you try to research if your video is actually within fair use, or you ask YouTube itself like I did, they cannot give you a straight answer because the fair use law applies more in court than it does the YouTube platform.
Each unique case? Really? So there's no way to protect yourself against copyright. And you have to enter all personal information to fight copyright. I didn't think it was that much of a pain to do, to fight copyright. That is a major pain. And as far as the whole bot stuff, like YouTube just like algorithm doing it, that's also rough.
You are gonna laugh cry once you see your DM.
Or the people making the claim have to sit through a copyright school just before they make the claim, so they know how painful it is and actually know what they're doing, because it is a legal process. It tells you about 20 times you are starting a legal process. But some people that don't know about fair use and how you qualify for it can easily just put out a claim. This is what happened in my situation, where the person thought they could legally take my video down for once again 6 seconds of a 19-minute video, which fell within fair use due to 2 factors. 1, I had commentated over it, and 2, I had only used a short amount of the original clip. And here's even an extra for you. My video had no impact on their video due to the minimal amount I used, so they could not argue that I damaged their video. But when the copyright strike was applied to my channel, I tried to get in contact with them, in which I joined their Discord because they had their DMs closed. And I can't show you the messages, but it basically went something like this, where I told them that video was in fair use and they were abusing the copyright system. They said nuh-uh, and that I still used 6 to 8 seconds of their video. And they've had music companies do the same to them before, so they thought they were valid in doing it to me. And I tried explaining to them how it was fair use, and how they had unknowingly abused the copyright system. But then they just proceeded to curb stomp me, them and their mods of their Discord server. So I went and got legal advice on the situation, and even spoke to people like Fliplight and other popular YouTubers who all agreed they were abusing the copyright system.
The thing is like, why wouldn't you want people to use some, like, a little bit of your content, right? To be completely honest, like, why not? It's like, it's free advertising for the people. You know, I don't understand. Like, I can sort of, to a degree, understand to a way if you know, it's given a bad rep, obviously, but, like, there's no bad rep being given in this situation, at least I assume.
That was the 2-second clip. This. So that is the YouTube copyright system, and seemingly why every YouTuber you know either fears for their life every time they get an email from YouTube, or why it's the #1 topic they love to complain about. Believe it or not, the copyright system used to be much worse, but YouTube over time has been making it better. But they can't help with people taking advantage of the copyright laws or loopholes, because it happens a lot on the platform, and they can't help if some people abuse it either unknowingly or just because their feelings got hurt. Once again, I think they should make a copyright school for those people. But YouTubers are still going to complain and turn into goblins every time it's used incorrectly, unless something drastically changes. But anyway, most of this video was me ranting, so if you made it to the end of the video, well done. Mommy did not spit out a winner, and I'm proud of you.
YouTube copyright is abused tremendously, and especially if you just say the wrong thing. That's not really a bad thing, but if you just say the wrong thing to a certain creator, and they just spam your content and just cause you to get strikes, awful. It's awful to even think about. So many people that use this YouTube as a way to make a living, but there's definitely cases where copyright should 100% be used. Anyway, chat, that's what we are reacting to today. Nice and short today, little 15-minute stuff.
YouTube. Be YouTubing.